My name is Noelle Black, and I'm here to talk to you about communicating with athletes. The number one thing about communicating with athletes first is making sure you have a highly important, effective communication with your athletes. You want to always be present and oriented no matter what. Being effective to them will also draw their attention to you and help you drive a great team. Second, you always want to have verbal and nonverbal communication. It helps the athletes see your point of view without letting their opponent knows what your next move is. Another thing that's important with your team is to have a good sportsmanship always, no matter what, whether your team is winning or losing, and having that communication where you're not going so angry when your team isn't following protocol to what you guys did in practice. Never know what's going to be happening on the field, on the court, because every player is different. It might not be what scrimmage was about, so player always has to win. You have to be open-minded about that. Communication is very important because you want to have your athlete prevent injury, not just for them but for also their other opponents. You don't want to be going in blindly all the time to kind of always make sure you get that winning shot or winning basket. You always want to make sure that you yourself is preventing injury for long-term injury that may happen. When it comes to nonverbal communication on the field or on the court, you never want to go and push yourself to the extreme to have that strong urge to be so upset. For example, when you have an athlete that just is like, oh my gosh, like what the hell, you want to draw from that as much as possible, because not only does it frustrate you, but it also puts a lot of stress on the team, which could lead to not wins but more losses and no communication on the field.
Guys, we got to communicate. Get the message. Get this right. Come on. Ready? All together.
You never want to forget about verbal communication, not just with your athletes, your other athletes on the field, but also with your coach as well. Communication will get you those wins instead of those losses. Communicating with your team when it comes to passes, when it comes to someone being open, or if you see someone that might just be struggling, you always want to be there to communicate with your team, because communicating is success and success gives you wins.
And it's getting to you. I'm just telling you what I said. It's getting to you because you think you need to play ball right now. Stop thinking so much. Y'all see what happened in the first half?
Yes.
They turned the ball over. We were able to get out and run. Come on, they do the same thing. Let's go. Get up in it. Come on. Set that up. Be patient.
When you communicate with your athletes coming from a coach's perspective, you never want to seem to yell at your team in a way that they feel some way about, making wrong choices that they thought might have been right on the field, not from where you guys practice. So using a good amount of communication, your wording, your attitude, and the way you just present yourself, so that there's not so much hostility when the team has to go back while you have this conversation either during halftime or after a winning or losing game. Another important factor that I just want to go and mention is having that communication with your athletic trainer. Your athletic trainer is your best friend. They will go and help you with anything that you may need: soreness, pain, questions about, whether it's okay to still play if you're feeling this way. They're here to help you as well too, to make sure that you are not injuring yourself and not injuring those that you are playing against.
Hey, Kopi, you alright, man? My neck. Your neck? Alright, sit still now, don't move. Anything else hurt? No. No? You have any numbness in your arms and legs? Yes. Yes, you do? Hey, Smitty, can you get Sandy, please? Sandy. Hey, John, what's up, buddy?
My neck.
Neck's bothering? Hey, numbness or tingling in your hands or your feet?
Yes.
Yes, in both?
Yes.
Alright, lay nice and still, cause you keep stabilization. One of you guys, please have Coach call 911, please.
Have you ever
Closing, I just want to express that, I don't want anyone to feel that they cannot communicate either with their coach, with their athletes, or especially their athletic trainers, because the one thing that we all are wanting to do is to prevent injury, because injury will not get you anywhere, will not get you where you need to be in a year or two to excel those dreams that you may have moving on forward.